Guys, before we start off, this episode is brought to you by Costa Nostra Brand. Go to CostaNostraBrand.com and join the family.
Yo, welcome to Chopping It Up. Diz and Los on the mic. We don't stop. We talk parlays, we talk spreads, rumors buzzing in your head, locking picks, stacking chips.
Welcome,
every stat we put
everybody,
to bed.
to Chopping It Up with Diz and Los. I'm Diz. That's Los.
What's up, professionals?
Los, this is the weather. You know, it's Major League Baseball playoffs. It's football. You know, I love this weather. Hoodie season on. So I'm ready. Los, what's been popping this last week?
Nothing much, man. You know, big win this week by the G-Men. I'm a little sad. You know, the Mets didn't, cut it. They couldn't cut it and sneak in there, man. All they had to do was win, right?
That's all they had to do.
All they had to do, man. All the stars were lining up, and they just couldn't get it done. Hey, but what we do? We gotta build. We regroup. Get some.
And you know what? You guys might regroup without who?
Polar Pete.
Can he be coming over to the Bronx? A little payback for Juan Soto?
I don't know, man. But, as we all know, the Mets have the bankroll. So they're going to pay him, unless something, right now it's out of respect, man. You got to, they're going to let him, go. He said already, right? He's going to check free agency, you know what I mean? See what they offer him. And then obviously out of respect, he's going to come to the Mets and say, hey, listen, can you match it? Or, you're going to pay me what I deserve, right? So I believe someone's going to make him a nice offer. And then the Mets are going to have to counter. The same thing that happened with Saquon is going to happen here. The only thing is, I think Polar Pete stays home. He wants to be a forever Met, I think.
And that would be good. You need someone like that, like a David Wright, and then
let's not hope. Let's not. So I don't want this to happen twice to New York, man. He goes to another team and then they win the championship, like Saquon did, right? So we got to make sure that the Mets do the right thing, and lock him in.
So let's just go across away to the real team in New York, the Yankees. Tough series with the Boston Red Sox, but they pulled it out, coming back to, winning a 2-1. Look, Judge did Judge. He didn't hit homers and everything. He was on base, The first game, they didn't start Chaz, so I was wondering, if he was injured, but second game came through. Third game, they won the series. Our pitching looked great, except the first game. But now we go to the AL Division Series against Toronto. That might be a tough series, Los.
Yeah, the Yankees are looking good right now, man. Overall they're playing fundamental baseball. Their pitching is coming up in big time spots in the game. Defensively they're getting it done. So overall, if Judge starts cranking them out now, man, this is the time to do it. Yep. And then he's the guy that can just turn like that, on a switch. So, I think the Yankees take this series. They take it in 7.
I hope so. We'll just see, because then they would have to play the winner of, I think, what was it, Detroit and who was the other team? Detroit and Seattle.
Seattle's a sleeper here, right?
They're sleeper. They're sleeper. They got that home field advantage. So we will definitely see it. But any National League team that surprised you losing?
No, but the big series is the Phillies and the Dodgers, man. That's a nice one. I think that's going to be a tight one, man. Obviously the consensus says the Dodgers. They got all the stars. But you cannot sleep on the Phillies, man. They've been slowly all through the year. Yeah, underrated. They're like,
under the radar. They were playing good under the radar.
We're talking a lot about the Phillies, and they've been getting it done. And look, they're in the NLDS, right? So listen, I'm a Mets fan. I don't root for the Phillies, but I don't like the Dodgers, and I'll tell you that much. So I'm thinking the Phillies take it in 7.
7 again.
Phillies in 7.
7. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be a tough series. I think I'm gonna go LA in 6.
Really?
Yep. But Los, the real story is Jackson Dart last week.
Huge win.
That was good. You know, I saw a lot of stuff that I liked. He ran, he maneuvered. I didn't like him stiff arming people with his right arm, but you know that our rookies from Dart to Cam to Carter, who's just is a beast. You know, what did you like about the game? They won 21-18.
So I like what I saw out of Jackson Dart, right? He's, you kind of saw flashes of what he can do during the preseason, right? And you got to see that in the real time game situation with the ones, right? I didn't like that he takes hits a lot, you know what I mean? Like he's not a small quarterback, he's big. Cam Scatterbu was just getting it done, but overall, you know what really was the show is the defense, man. I think the defense overall had like 20 pressures.
Yep.
Abdul Carter was just in Herbert's face, man. So the thing is this, man, if it was any other quarterback, because you have to understand, Justin Herbert is like an elite quarterback, man.
Yep.
He's very athletic. He has athleticism. So like every time Burns, Abdul Carter, Tibbs was in there, bro, they were right there, man. And like, Abdul Carter almost had like 5 sacks, dude.
Yeah.
That's how like, and then Spider-Man was just in there, man. Like, listen, that defense is starting to gel.
That's right.
You know, the sad thing about the game is that, at what cost did we get that W? We lost a key player, Shout outs to Malik Neighbors, covering. But we lost him for the year. So now it's time for we got these guys that need to step up, right? We got guys that really didn't get any playing time, didn't get any receptions, any looks. I got Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt was a top pick a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
You got to see what he can do. We got Darius Slayton, the veteran. Darius Slayton's going to be one of those guys that he's going to need to come up, show his veteran presence and really pump these guys up in the wide receiver room. And you got Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson is that guy that they're going to be dumping off the little dump passes here and there, man. They're going to use him in the backfield. So, and then you got Theo Johnson, another rookie.
Good.
Right? So, the young core of this Giants defense looks like they're going to be elite in the future. We're gonna see flashes of what they're gonna be doing. I think this week they got a not a hard test, but I think they're gonna show what the Giants are gonna show what they really can do, man. And right now, offensively, they need to get these receivers, going. Jackson Dart's gonna get tested this week. They have a good secondary, New Orleans. Again, they're playing in New Orleans. So
it's an away game.
It's an away game. Away games are always challenging, right? So, I look forward to a big game. I think Giants take this game. I would say it's going to be a big defensive game. I think a defense scores a defensive touchdown. Did you see last week? Sexy Dexy almost ran it all the way.
He did.
I think this week someone defensively scores a touchdown. Big, Spencer Rattler, he's going to get stopped. He's not no Justin Herbert.
No. So how many sacks will we get? How many sacks?
I think Abdul Carter is going to have overall. I think there's going to be 6-7 sacks this week.
Yeah.
Whole team.
You said you said about Neighbors, getting hurt. That's unfortunate. But what should the Giants do for that field? All that talk going on that they get trade. I mean, rip it up and put grass. I don't know why they just don't do it.
I think it's been in the conversation. I think now with this latest injury and all the media going around, I think they probably should be considering it. It's something that they got to do in the off season. Obviously, then I got to do it during in season. Hey, listen, it's not just 2 players, not just Malik Neighbors, Odell. You lost a lot of key players around the NFL due to this field. So
exactly,
you got to start thinking. How do we fix this? So, as an organization, I think Giants will do the right thing. I think this has been a key, discussion point during many, many conferences throughout the year, throughout the leagues. I'm sure the NFL and other teams have brought it up to the league. So I'm sure something's going to happen in the near future. If not this year coming up, the following year, bring it back to grass.
Yeah, they got to do something. It's unfortunate. Now, Jackson Dart, I think is his first away game. I think in the first couple of minutes, you'll find out how he's going to adjust to the game. I think that's one of my picks later on, but I'll explain my picks later on. But I think it's going to be a good game. There was another couple injuries that were just, one was brutal.
Oh, there's a
Tyreek
lot.
Hill. And Lo, you text me, you're like, oh, he's done. And I'm like, what do you mean? And you're like, what? You basically said that it's fucked up, but you basically said his leg almost came off.
Yo, it's crazy. It's like it was.
And then I had to go watch it again, and I was like, "Woo, that was bad. That was bad." And I think we saw Hill's last game in Miami. What do you think?
I think so. I think he's not coming back from that. He's done in Miami. He's gonna recover. He's like he'll recover fast. He's like the Wolverine, but he's not gonna recover this year. So, look for Miami to start, things going offensively with Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle automatically now becomes the wide receiver 1, right? Then you got Darren Waller, who had 2 touchdowns in his opening debut this year. That was
Where
big.
was he with us?
I know, but now he comes in, right? So now offensively, Tua has, another offensive weapon. He loses one, but he gains another. Yeah. And, Devin A-Chain, right? A lot of people were worried about his injury, his leg and stuff, but now, Devin A-Chain looks like normal Devon A-Chain, right? The only person that got hurt was the number 2, Ollie Gordon. I think Ollie Gordon went on IR.
Did he?
I think he's on IR, or he's I know he's out. I know he got hurt. So, we'll see, how Miami can regroup and get it going. They had a big win this week on Monday night against the Jets at home. So, that was a plus for them, but again, at what cost? They lost a key player.
Yeah, I know. And these injuries, I'm watching, and it's like Thanos when he throws his daughter over a soul for a soul.
Soul for a soul. And, it was like Black Monday, like all throughout the league, man. Like there was just people going on. Like, listen, the Arizona Cardinals lost John Connor last week, and then they made Trey Benson the starter. Trey Benson goes on IR this week. I think another one, right?
He was on my bench. I was like, oh, I'm gonna start him. He's a number 1.
Remember like CeeDee Lamb last week. CeeDee Lamb's another one that's on IR. Then you got the quarterback from the Ravens, right?
That's what I was just gonna get to. Lamar
Jackson out 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, right? He's out there.
And you know what? That's not good. Something's going on with Baltimore. They're not looking too good.
Hey, listen, a couple key fumbles from the King, Derrick Henry. See, Derrick Henry gets going early in the game. He's good, man. He gets it going. It's just like he has something going on late in the game that it's like, I don't know, man. Fumbles. Like last night. Did you see last night's game?
Yes, we did.
How many teams got knocked out of survivor pools picking the Rams over the 49ers? First of all, if you look at the stat sheet, 49ers, the lineup, they had Jawan Jennings out. They had Kittle's out. They had Ricky Parcells out. So they were starting DeMarcus Robinson, who just came off a suspension, wide receiver, right? And then they had Kendrick Bourne, who they just signed a couple of weeks ago, right? So he comes in, right? And not for nothing, man. Kendrick Bourne had like over 140 yards last night.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out to Kendrick Bourne. So, what's funny, man? I had in like 2 of my leagues, I have my league neighbors, and I was like scrambling the waiver wire, man, trying to say, who am I going to pick up? Who am I going to pick up to fill in this void, man? Because there's some big shoes to fill in your fantasy team, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was looking, I was like, oh, man, you got Mac Jones starting for the injured Brock Purdy, right? And if for those of you who have really followed football, you remember when Mac Jones was a starter in New England, Mac Jones played with Kendrick Bourne.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick Bourne was lighting it up in New England with Mac Jones. So my gut was telling me, listen, why don't you just pick up Kendrick Bourne, man? And I was like, oh, should I pick him up? And I kind of like, I don't know. It kind of sucks when you like pick up a player on a Thursday night and then he does a dud for you. That's like you're starting off the week off terrible, right? So I said, you know what? I said, let me slow my roll. I'm not gonna pick him up. And look what happens. He goes for 100. I think he had like 10 receptions for like 148 yards. So, there you go. Sometimes you got to go with what your gut tells you, man. But anyway, shout outs to the San Francisco 49ers just getting it done. But some key fumbles, though, from Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. So it started off with Blake Corum. Blake Corum had like a key fumble.
Now, let me tell you this, right? I did a parlay last night. I did Corum for 15 yards. He got 13 after that, and then he fumbled, and they pulled him out, and I lost it because of the 2 yards. I was pissed.
Yeah, man. And then, and they said, Vegas was calling when Kyron Williams did that fumble. They were like, "Oh, Vegas was calling."
Yeah.
Yo, you know how many teams got knocked
Lost,
out, and
yeah.
how many people lost because of that fumble? That was the win for the Rams.
That was.
They were going for the win, and that would have made a lot of people rich, right? But no. Vegas was like, fumble right now.
That would be crazy if that was that, but
No, I know, but I'm just
but
saying.
that was, you never know. You never know.
No.
But Los, also what's starting is NBA is going to be starting up soon. They're starting preseason, so we'll see the Knicks, the Nets, see how they're doing.
Where's Kawhi going? Where's Kawhi Leonard going? Kawhi Leonard's under investigation, right, or something like that?
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, not him and the owner of the Clippers.
Yeah,
From hiding money around, giving them 1.8 on the side for a company, and then it goes bankrupt and stuff. I don't know. Some shady shit goes on.
Yeah, man. So,
but Los, what about your picks? I got a couple because last week, Los, you were close.
I was close. Which one did I miss out? I think I missed out on like one or two, right?
You missed out. You had, I think you had Derrick Henry 2 touchdowns. I think you had.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And who else? Who I think you had. I think you had Baltimore winning and they lost. No. I forgot, but we'll put it up later on.
Yeah.
But Los, couple picks. I got a couple parlays I'm going to go with right now.
Okay.
All right, I'll tell you. I got the Giants money line, and I got the points. They're going to cover. I think they're going to win by 10.
Yeah, it's going to be a high scoring game. Cam Scatterbo, big game for him tomorrow.
Yes, Cam. Then I got the Ravens money line. I think they're going to come out this week. They play Houston, so I think they'll give a lot of Derrick Henry, a lot of feed and beat.
You should put now if you're going to put 2 TDs for Derrick Henry, you got to put 2 fumbles for Derrick Henry. That should be the auto parlay right there. That's crazy. You have to say that, right? But
I know, because he was never big on fumbling. And then the last, I got the Eagles money line. I think they're playing Denver. They're just gonna run the ball, and I think AJ Brown's gonna have a big game this time. Then I got some tutties. Okay,
tutties.
I got one for Derrick Henry. I do.
Okay.
You can mark this and one for Cam Scatterbo. I think Cam's going to score a touchdown. I think
that's an automatic now.
Top running back, not yards and everything, but I guess like with knocks hit after yards and stuff like that, breaking tackles, and then the last one I have Ahmad St. Brown TD, Gibbs TD. I think Detroit is going to demolish the Bengals.
Oh yeah, of course.
Los, you got some picks?
So this week the Cleveland Browns announced that they're going to do a QB change. They're going to bench Joe Flacco and they're going to start Dylan Gabriel. And then Shedeur Sanders is still the QB3. He's not the backup, but And
there's talk he's not even knowing the plays and stuff like that. So thank God the Giants didn't get him.
So the Browns have a big test. The Browns have the Vikings at 9:30 a.m. and I think that's in England. I think.
Yes.
Right.
I
think the Vikings take that, but I think it's not going to be an easy game. So there's a couple of players under the radar that no one's really speaking about. You got an Isaiah Bond becomes the wide receiver 2 now for the Vikings. You still got Jerry Jeudy, and then you got the rookie running back Quinshawn Judikins, right? Who's been producing, man. He's a beast. So I'm gonna put him as an auto tutty. Okay. I'm gonna put Jordan Mason on the Vikings as an auto tutty. Yep. Tutties right there, and the Vikings take that.
Okay.
Texans Ravens.
What do you got?
I'm gonna put big man with Lamar Jackson not playing. That's a big man. I don't think it's gonna be an easy game, and they're both 1-3.
Yep.
I think the Texans take that in a nail biter. I think Nico has 2 tutties.
You're big on Nico with 2.
2 tutties for Nico this week.
Okay.
Then you got the Dolphins and the Panthers. I think Dolphins take that without Tyreek Hill. I think the Dolphins take that with ease. Big game by Jalen Waddle and Devin Achane. Darren Waller gets in the end zone tutty again this week.
Wow.
And then you got Raiders Colts.
Jonathan?
1-3 Raiders and 3-1 Colts. I think the Colts could get back to what they were doing. They take that Colts
Okay.
win. Giants Saints. Giants easily take that win. Saints go 0-5. That's big, man.
That is.
And then the Cowboys Jets. 0-4 Jets. Look, all this talking about the Giants, right?
Yep.
And no one's talking about the 0-4 Jets. Shout out to Jay-Z and the New York Jets fan base. Jay-Z. Professionals.
That's
Yo, so listen, Cowboys demolish the Jets this week.
Hey, and you know what? Dak is the one of the top quarterbacks this year.
Bro, he's like number one in like multiple categories in
Yep.
the quarterback world, right? So yeah, look for the Cowboys to destroy the Jets. So they're gonna go 0-5, 0-5 teams, which is crazy. Wow. This is a big one, man. You got 4-0 Eagles versus the 2-2 Broncos, man. And you know what I told you, man? Like the Broncos defense is no joke, man. But the Eagles defense is no joke too. You got two top-tier defenses going at it with each other this week. Now, offensively, who's the better defense? Who's the better offense? The Eagles. Yeah. You know, we really haven't seen Saquon Barkley open up.
Nope.
Yet, right?
Not at all.
I think this week you're going to see a lot of Saquon. A lot of Saquon. I think Saquon gets into the end zone twice this week. 2 tutties for Saquon.
Wow, 2 tutties. 2 tutties.
Big one. 0-4 Titans and the Cardinals. Cardinals take that with a commanding way. I think the Cardinals announced this week that Michael Carter is going to be the starting running back this week. So look for big game for Marvin Harrison. I think this is going to be the coming out party for Marvin Harrison. If he's going to do it, he's going to do it against an 0-4 Titans team.
Yeah.
He has to.
The Titans defense is not there. And, we saw last week, who's that? Harrison scored a touchdown. He was,
he was like,
left for that.
Yeah, he was like, dude, I needed that. And I think he gets going. I think this week he does it again. He gets into the end zone again. I think 120 yards for Marvin Harrison. Buccaneers versus Seahawks. Seahawks have a great looking defense this year. Yep. They're 3-1. They're sitting at 3-1, and so are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sitting at 3-1. Emeka Ibuka looks like a solid wide receiver 1. Yeah. So now you got Chris Godwin back. Chris Godwin, last week was slow, to get started. They got him a couple receptions, but I think you're going to see the real Chris Godwin this week. So you get Baker Mayfield, you get Chris Godwin and Emeka Ibuka in there. I think they'll get it done.
But your man's hurt.
I know, Bucky Irving. So right now they said today they'll know if he's going to go. If he goes, he's going to be on limited snaps. But you know who else they have? They have Rashad White. They got Sean Tucker. They got bruisers there. So, I don't think they'll take it's going to be a much of a setback if Bucky Irving doesn't play. I think they still get it done. I think Buccaneers take that.
Wow.
Lions, Bengals. So this is the thing, man. So the Bengals haven't really shown anything because of their quarterback play. The Lions have a great defense, man. So I think the Lions should have no problem taking that. But I think Taylor, the coach, I think he's gonna open up the playbook a little bit and get Jamar Chase going. You saw Jamar Chase chirping at the coach during the game last week. Yep. Like, I don't know, man, get him the ball. I think you're gonna see a couple of aerials up there. Jamar Chase,
what's funny, Los?
Jamar Chase is gonna score. He's gonna get it done. I think Jamar Chase gets in the end zone. And you know who else needs to get in the end zone? Chase Brown. Yeah, he's a lot of Chase Brown.
What the heck?
Yeah, man. So, even though they'll get in the end zone, the Lions will still get it done. They'll go to 4-1. Big one. And they're going to be without Terry McLaurin and
Debo's questionable.
And Jalen the quarterback.
Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, the Commanders go against the Chargers with an elite defense. The Chargers are pissed off the Giants. So they're going to come throwing everything. They're going to throw the house at the Commanders. Chargers take that win easy.
I do think Chargers are going to come out, and Omar Hampton is looking like a number 1 top running back in this league right now.
And you're ready for this? Trap game of the week.
Trap game.
Sunday night. You have the New England Patriots versus the 4-0 Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Bro. In-division rival.
Always a
right?
tough game. Always a tough game.
Game conference, always a tough game. Don't sleep. Patriots defense is going to step up. Close games going to come down to the wire. I think the Patriots take that, and it's going to be a close game, back and forth scoring. Drake Maine can move the ball. He gets every receiver involved, just like who? Josh Allen. Josh Allen gets everyone involved. I'm telling you right now, close game. I'm thinking, Stephon Diggs, welcome to the show.
Yep. That's what I think too.
Stephon Diggs is going to be like, welcome to the show.
I do think Buffalo's going to win, but I do think Diggs might have a big game.
I think Stephon Diggs, Tutty, Henry Hunter, Tutty, and
Drake May?
No, let's get Trayvon Henderson in there.
Okay, yeah.
Let's get him
in
there. Tutty.
But look, Los, this is week 4. The season is right in the mix of things. We got to see how the Giants come out because next week they play the Eagles. So Jackson Dart got to get his experience in these next 2 games. But anything
Eagles
else,
Thursday night football next week.
Early turn back.
That's home in New York.
I know.
I don't know if I'm going to go to that game. I might have to go to that game.
Barkley, Dart, Cam.
I'm going to see, man. We're going to see.
Spider.
Yo, did you see this guy when he does his celebration? Yo, he does.
Yeah, I know. When he gets down, man, I'm like,
dude, wow, dude, this guy's crazy.
But Los, let's end this right now. You can end it for us, and we'll see you on Saturday or Sunday. Go ahead.
How'd you do in fantasy?
I sucked. Los, you know what? I would give you a shout out. Because you said this from the get-go. You said this guy is going to be a number 1 receiver. And I was like, okay, he's a second year player from Chicago Bears. Your man.
Rome Odunze.
Number 1. He's he has 5 touchdowns already.
I told you, man. You got to do you still have a chance to acquire him via trade. You're not going to pay high dollar, but if you have a chance to get him, the time is now because next week it's going to light it up again. So you want to get him before he starts lighting it up. Yeah, man. You know who's really not, he gets a couple catches here and there, but hasn't really been doing what he did last year. Second-year wide receiver Ladd McConkey.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
Hurting my team.
Remember what we were talking about during the preseason before the NFL started? We said, listen, Justin Herbert gets his guy Keenan Allen back. That's his guy. That's his go-to, man.
I know.
And I told you, Quentin Johnson, man, listen.
Hey, I picked him up in a couple leagues. He was still available.
Yep, so those are the guys right now, man. So right now, listen, as we were speaking, I just got the alert. Bucky Irving, doubtful right now.
Oh,
that's a big loss. But look for Rashad White. Look for Sean Tucker to take the reins at RB. It's going to be an aerial attack. It's going to be throwing. So, but one thing we do know that Baker Mayfield has an arm, and he'll throw it there. And you got Emeka Buka. You got Kate Otto, right? Otten, the tight end.
The tight end.
And then you got old faithful Godwin. So,
hey, Sterling Shepard's still there.
Sterling Shepard, right? In the slot. Don't sleep. He gets it done too. So, look for a big game from those guys. But other than that, in fantasy, man, shout outs to our ESPN league that we're in, right? Who's undefeated.
You are your team.
Shout out to Nico, man. Always sending me trades.
Is he?
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna accept this trade just to accept it, man. I feel bad for the kid.
Oh no, man.
Man.
Oh no, you got who's he looking for?
He's looking for Marion Hampton.
That ain't happening.
For peanuts.
That ain't happening. Throw something else in there. But
but so big week in fantasy for all you guys that lost Malik Neighbors. Whoever lost Trey Benson, whoever lost CeeDee Lamb, whoever lost Lamar Jackson. Feel for you guys, man. Keep your heads up. You gotta start working the waiver wire. Listen, your season really turns around when you start working the waiver wire. And there's a lot of players in there that produce. You got to look at the analytics. You got to look at the numbers. You got to look at the opportunities they get and see what they can do, right? So there's still players out there that can produce, and get you like 10 points, 8 points. That's good, man. You just need the points to just stay in the game. So, be consistent. So there's guys out there like Marvin Mims Jr., Isaiah Bond, Romeo Dobbs was still out there in the waiver wire. I know he's on a bye week, but you listen, Malik Neighbors for the year, man. You could use him down the stretch. You got Christian Watson, who's coming off an injury that's still in the waiver wire. Pick him up, put him on your IR spot, and put him in the field. I'm telling you, listen, you got to be smart. You always got to think ahead of the game in fantasy, man.
And you see Andrews is starting to light it up a little bit, but don't forget Likely in the background.
Don't forget Likely in the back. Don't forget. Listen, you need a tight end. A lot of people have been dropping what's his name from the Cleveland Browns?
David
Njoku. He hasn't been really producing. People have been dropping him. He's the guy that's going to get it turned up. You got a rookie QB in there, right? Dylan Gabriel coming in. I'm sure he's going to utilize his tight end.
Yeah.
So, there's players out there that, that are there. You just need to, hold them and then, fire them away when you need them.
Los, you did good this week with the picks. Last week, here we go again. We're going to end this. I got to go get my shape up.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, thank you for tuning in. Shout outs to Jay-Z and his podcast. Shout outs to George and the Zapata brand. And shout outs to our newly acquired sponsor, Costa Nostra brand.
That's right.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be on next week. God bless. Stay blessed, professionals. Peace.
Keep your bankrolls alive. Spin up, we got the play-by-play. Bet your best, let the eyes lead the way. Diz and Los, bringing heat to the room, chopping it up. Bet on us, feel the thrill.